So right around this time, 6 months ago, I had just started properly collecting Pokemon cards. And looking back over the last 6 months, there are definitely a couple of things which I wish I had been told at the start. But at the same time, there are a couple of things which I learned myself, which I think were actually really beneficial to me as a collector. So here are my top 5 tips for anyone trying to get into collecting Pokemon cards. Before we get into this, hit the subscribe button, hit notification bell, hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds, helps us out so much. Thank you for being here. Let's get straight into this. Now this video has probably been done hundreds of times over. So the point of this video is hopefully to try and break the mold. Try and spit out 5 new-ish tips that haven't been relayed so often as some of the more obvious tips. And as we go along, we are obviously going to crack open some packs. We have a Crown Zenith tin as voted by you guys on my Instagram. So tip number 1, and something that I think doesn't get touched on nearly enough, is to use the first 3 months of collecting to collect everything you can. So picture the scene. You just came into a new hobby. You're collecting something completely new that you don't know anything about. Like, you may have played the games, you may know about Pokemon in general, but you don't know about what there is in the card world. So how do you know what you like? Yeah, of course, you can go on like Poker Collector, or you can go on TCG Player, or you can go on eBay, wherever you want to buy your cards, and scour the web for every single set, vintage, new, Japanese, English. I know it doesn't sound like much difference between seeing it online and seeing it in person. At the end of the day, they look similar. But I guarantee you, when you actually have something in your hands, your opinion on it can change drastically. Every card is like a different piece of art, and when you see that card in person, you may have a completely different opinion of it than what you did have when you first saw it online. For example, when I first started collecting, there were a few things I didn't think I would like. One of those main things was Japanese cards. And look at my collection now, like 30% of it is Japanese vintage. And even some of it is new Japanese, like these 3 starters, which are 3 of my favorite starter cards ever. Probably my favorite. And if I hadn't had these in person, because in reality at the start I couldn't afford the Neo Revelation cards in English, so I had to get it in Japanese. And if I didn't have these in person, I never would be able to appreciate how nice these cards were. The art on them is exactly the same, and in some cases in newer sets, the textures on the cards, the slight details on the cards in Japanese is actually superior to English. And that goes for even new sets. So when new sets come out, definitely embrace the new sets. Open them, enjoy them. That's what they're there for. Don't think about them as an investment piece or being able to open them down the line because you just want singles. In time, you'll decide whether you want to open cards and get singles, or if you want to buy sealed product, or what you choose to do in the future. But at the start, open everything you can. So definitely embrace that first honeymoon period. It only comes once, I promise you. After that first tip, let's crack open our first Crown Zenith pack. We are going for the Zapdos version here. Aaron, that's a cool card. Seal, big fan of Seal. Starly into a Blossom. So the second tip is to buy protection for your cards right from the start. Now this tip has definitely been said before, and I know I said I was going to say new things, but there's something about this that I want to reiterate because I think a lot of people are forgetting that these days. And that key point is that to this day, there are still people who are going to treat their cards worse than you would. Now that sounds like common knowledge, but it really isn't. There's a 5-year-old somewhere in the playground with his Moonbryon in a rubber band in his pocket, and he's got crisps on his hands. Like, trust me, your Moonbryon in 5 years time is going to be worth more than the crumpled up piece of paper that he shoveled out from his pockets to show his friends 10 years ago. I promise you. And that's when it's really going to matter, because we look now back at base set Charizard from 20 years ago and we think, oh, only if I had kept it secure and clean and loaded into a top loader and into a binder and put in a non-humid place. But not everyone is thinking like that now, and in 10 years time people are going to be wishing they did the same thing with their Lugia, with their Moonbryon, with their tag team cards. Anything you can think of any value, put it into a sleeve, into a binder or into a top loader and store it in a non-damp place. Trust me, you will thank yourself in 10 years. Straight away you should be looking to buy things like sleeves, top loaders and binders for your cards. This is a simple binder from Vault X, probably one of the best brands for binders out there. but a simple side loading binder like this will be able to hold and keep your cards safe in the long run. Okay, pack number 2 for the second tip. Let's see what we get here. Meowth, Baltoy, Tangler, Rockruff. Oh! V-Star, Hisuian Zoroark. One of the cards I don't have from Crown Zenith. That is a crazy pull. Oh, love that completely. And talking about top loaders and sleeves, we are putting that straight into a sleeve. Excuse the little tag. And straight into a top loader. Just like that. So tip number 3 comes 3 months after you started collecting and you just finished your honeymoon period. You've collected a huge amount of sealed product, a bunch of slabs, loads of singles. You got all these cards piled up so high. You can't catch every single Pokemon out there. You can't collect every single card. So what you need to have is a goal for your collection. So even if there are thousands and thousands of cards out there, it's not possible to collect them all. So you need to dial it in to maybe 2 or 3 different collection goals that you want to complete. And obviously there are going to be loads of cards that you just see here and there. Maybe you're at conventions or new sets come out, or you're trading and you just want new cards to add to your collection. Of course, put them in the collection, but you have to have goals for 2 main reasons. The first thing is every 3 months or 4 months, you're probably going to look back and regret some of the purchases you made. The truth is there are always going to be Pokemon cards out there you don't have, and those regretful purchases you could have used on things that you actually want that might get you to your goal of completing your master set or getting all the holos from base set or whatever it is. And secondly, it's just way too overwhelming to try and collect everything. Not to mention it's so expensive. So yeah, have a goal, collect that goal, and then surplus it with whatever you want, but have a goal. It will give you a reason to keep collecting. Okay, pack number 3. Crown Zenith, the pack that never fails me. Starly, Cherubi, Yungoos, Riolu, Scyther, Friends in Simo. Oh, that is such a nice V. That is such a nice V. Zamazenta V. Lovely card right there. The 4th tip I have is to document your collection. Now before you pull up your Excel document, I don't mean by that. Yeah, you can do that as well. But what I mean is to start a YouTube or an Instagram or a TikTok or some sort of social media where you're able to share pictures, talk to people, get inspiration, look at different prices, look at the market, and just interact with everyone else who loves what we're doing. And also it's just fun to post pictures of the stuff that we collect. It's so cool. It's all art at the end of the day. We might as well post it. Moving swiftly on to pack number 4 until we get to our last pack and last tip. With a Yungoos, Riolu, Scyther, Energy Search, Corphic. Oh, 2 hits from the tin. V-Star Deoxys, that is a lovely card. That's the 3rd one I have. And a lovely shiny fire, water energy. 2 energies, okay. Is that meant to happen? I have no idea. Nice. And tip number 5 is to remember you have to sell in order to buy. Now before you think, oh, I thought this was about collecting, not investing, I'm talking about it specifically from a collecting point of view. Every month there's a really cool alt art in an amazing new Japanese set, and every 3 months we get those reprinted in English, the same alt arts from the English set. So there's always going to be new cards to add to your collection, and the only way you're going to be able to get that amazing secret rare Dunsparce is by getting rid of that old unwanted base set 1st edition Charizard, and there's a perfectly good home for it right here. So sell to buy. No, but in all seriousness, you do need to sell to buy because there are so many cards out there. Vintage, new, your taste is going to change. And the only way to evolve with your new desires for your sets and your new desires for your collections is to sell your old stuff. The stuff that you're not 100% on, you've already passed that honeymoon period. You already decided what you love, what you don't love. There's going to be stuff from that period which you think, hey, I'm not 100% sure on this anymore. Move it on and buy stuff you're 100% sure on. Why not? There's so much out there anyway. So yeah, buy to sell. It's the first rule in collecting. Right, moving into our final Crown Zenith pack here. We've had a bunch of luck so far. 3 hits from 4 packs and 2 of them have been V-Stars. You never complain when it comes to V-Stars. Corphish, Aron, we've seen them both already. Potion and a Seal we've already seen. Oh, Thievul, 4 hits from 5 packs. And the Zacian Holo. That is a really nice art as well with the monochrome look. Cool stuff. Well done, Pokemon. By the way, with the number of old tarts we're getting, you just forget how good some of these regular holos are. So yeah, that was 5 tips I've learned as a collector for the last 6 months. I'm sure some of them you agree with, and I'm sure some of them you disagree with. These are just things that have worked for me, but some of these I do completely stand by, and they almost all of them revolve around the fact that this is something fun. So enjoy it, go with the flow, don't get too bogged down by having to have certain cards, comparing your collections to others, or anything like that. Really embrace that honeymoon period, and then after that start to look at moving on cards to get new cards, start setting up an Instagram, etc. I promise you, if you do it right, this is one of the most enjoyable hobbies out there. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit notification bell, takes 2 seconds. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys.